Okay, so first off, I just want to apologize for the fan noise because, well, it's kind of hot in here, so the fan feels kind of good. I'm doing this in the evening because it cools off pretty nice, and we're looking at about, I don't know, 100-degree days here next 2-3 days. So you'll probably find my upcoming videos be either in here in the evening or I'll be out in the barn, which I do a lot of times in the summer when it gets hot. So anyway, here's Project Ruby, and we're going to go ahead and put some custom drive shafts in her. We'll take this body off, which I gotta say also that the body has not been set yet, so because we still have some rear suspension work to do here. It sits way too high. Need to knock that bad boy down a bit, and it likes to cam over, as you can see right there. Right, so I need to do something about that. Alright, so maybe putting some oil in. There's no oil in these yet, but maybe putting some oil in these probably make a huge difference. But either way, I still need to drop it down quite a bit. Alright, so anyway, measuring your drive shaft. Alright, so doing these drive shafts, what we need to do is just measure from here to here and give enough room for the drive shaft when the suspension's compressed all the way that it still has room, that it's not under a bind. Okay, so let's do the rear first, maybe, huh? Alright, so be kind of difficult, but I think what we'll do is measure it. I'm gonna purposely cam this over, right? I'll go ahead and measure it pretty dang close. Okay, 73.86. So I think what I'm gonna do is go down to, whoops, too far, about 73. Alright, so that should allow it enough room so that the drive shaft can compress all the way and still have room without binding, I hope. If not, I can always trim a little bit more off. Okay, so how will I do that? Well, I'm going to take this full drive shaft right here, just lay it out, and this is the measurement I need. So we'll just lay it out right here, and now we'll just mark it like that, right? So with that, we remeasure, and we find out that I need to take about 43 millimeters off. Okay, so that's what I got, 43. Remeasure it again, which means where I marked that right there, about 25.91. So you could call it 26 if you wanted to, or $25. And of course my phone goes off. Alright, so 25 there, about. On this end that goes inside, going to be the same amount. Alright. Now we take a Dremel and cut it. Now to cut this even, I think what I need to do is put some masking tape, especially on this round one. It's fairly square. Alright, so I'm just going to go and put this in the vise, and we're going to cut this part off. Alright, so I'm going to have to readjust it because the way it's in here keeps wanting to move, so I'm going to stick it straight up. I don't want to do it too tight because otherwise the inner part of the shaft will not slide in and out right. Alright, so see how that worked out? Pretty good. I think it's pretty square. I'm going to do the same thing with the other one, and we're going to cut that off. Okay, so on this one, since it's not the outer tube, I don't have to worry about clamping it too tight, but at the same time I don't want to put any burrs on it that'll make it so it won't want to go in either. So let's cut this off. Okay, so that's done. Let's go back and see how it fits. Okay, so here we are. I'm going to go ahead and slide this end up here. Hopefully it'll fit. Maybe this is the part where I find out my bargain isn't such a bargain. Okay. This is the GCM transfer case here. So, I don't know, maybe it's a little bigger. Let's try the axial side. Alright, so the axial side seems to fit fine. Okay, so there's something going on here. I think what I need to do is take a file, must be a burr right in there, and file that out. Alright, so I got the rear drive line installed. As you can see right here, there's a gap, and when I go and compress the suspension, it doesn't bottom out, so it's not going to bind. Right? However, I did find that here, this yoke that's giving me trouble, that the pin didn't want to go in all the way. So, but on the back right here, if you can see it, it went in just fine. So, not sure if I'm going to have to pull that off and give it a little bit of a clean out with the drill or what. But either way, that's how that's done. Okay, it's kind of bugging me, so I'm going to see what I can do with that. Okay, so I was able to get that to work. Still needs to go in a little bit more, but other than that, I think we're good. It's almost like the threads are a little bit screwed up or something. But what do you expect for $26? Right? Alright. So, I will need to take this back one off because I need to drive that pin in right here a little bit more. So, alright, so I'm going to go ahead and do the front, and then I'm going to show you how I do the intermediate shaft. Okay, so I ran into a problem. I was going to show you all how I do this shaft right here, but it turns out that these things are not square all the way through. You know, and once I got to this is the first one I did for the for this shaft right here, and when I cut it, I come up with that. So, being somebody who doesn't like to give up, what I'm going to do is I'm going to weld it. That's right, I'm going to weld this center shaft to the outer shaft. Probably going to flip it around because it won't matter anyway. And the only way I will be able to take this off will be to remove the transfer case. Alright, so since this video has gone on long enough, I figure maybe I should do that in another one. I'm thinking that I have at least this much right here on the rear shaft, a little bit longer on the front because the front shaft is longer to work with. Kind of disappointing, but then it's not, because you know I've heard that you know, shafts like this are, you know, hollow in, you know, lower area. So it would have been nice if it was not, if it was square all the way through, but it wasn't. So at least we have a solution for it, and we're gonna go ahead and move on with that. Next time on this one, you'll see this shaft right here getting welded. I'm gonna actually put it and mount it exactly where it should be, and then tack it in a couple spots, and then go ahead and weld it up. Anyway, if you like this video, like, subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Remember to keep building.